What is the most important thing I decluttered in my life? And I really wish I would have decluttered it sooner. That's right. Does this sound familiar to you? You got off work, you're driving home, and you're taking a mental inventory of your fridge. Now, it's not for dinner, it's not for snacks, but you're wondering, how much alcohol do you have in the house? How many drinks do you have? Is it enough to get through the night just out of that pure anxiety of not being sure if you have enough to drink at home? You decide you're going to stop off at the convenience store. What's having a couple extra on hand just in case? So you stop at the local convenience store and you go home and, good. I think I have enough to get through the night. Maybe before you even get your shoes off, you crack one open. All right, you know what? I've worked hard today. I deserve this. And then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the one after that. And you know what? What's one more? Well, this last one is only one. And oh gosh, it's getting late, but I kind of want to have one more. Should I stop? Or, you know what? I'm just going to have another one. And then you decide, that's enough. I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. And you get up the next morning. I'm going to brush my teeth. And you know what? I'm going to throw some mouthwash on top of it. And, do I still feel like something, it's the best I'm going to do. I've got breath mints in the car. It's going to be okay. And you manage to get into work. And boy, you start out fuzzy and foggy. And, what's been going on the last couple days? And someone wants something from me. And, all right. The caffeine's starting to kick in and you're reading your emails and everything's starting to make sense. So you get into the groove and you're going throughout the day and everyone thinks like you are just a top performer. And so you're like, it's fine. I'm totally fine. I don't know why I'm so worried about how much I drank last night. It's not a big deal. And you know what? Maybe I don't need a drink tonight. And the day keeps going on and you're doing all the things. And you get in your car, and on your way home, you're like, I'm fine. But maybe I do want one, just in case. But wait, how many do I have at home? And you're taking your mental inventory. Again, not for dinner, not for snacks, not even for lunch the next day. But you're wondering, well, if I do have a drink tonight, I'm surely going to want another one, and another after that, and another after that. And the cycle continues. And then eventually it's Friday night. So you grab a few 12-packs. Everyone does on the weekends, right? So you get home and maybe you had a few left over from during the week randomly in your fridge and you get through those and then you start into the 12-pack and you get about halfway through and you think, all right, well, boy, it's like midnight, 1:00 in the morning and like one more. You're just going to have one more. It's fine. And then Saturday comes and a whole 12-pack disappears. Sunday comes along, you get up and you're like, I don't know if I have enough because I need at least a 12-pack. And what if I get through more than the 12-pack? Before you even get started, you're going up to the corner store. But you know what? It's going to be a different corner store because if you keep going to the same corner store, that's probably not going to look very good. So you need to mix it up. Make sure your habits are different. And maybe a clerk recognizes you here or there, but not enough to feel suspicious or to question anything. And then you start thinking to yourself, I'm kind of sick of this. And this has been going on for kind of a while. So if you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired and feeling honestly like a slave to alcohol and to the amount of inventory of alcohol that you have in your fridge at any given time, maybe you tried going to meetings and they didn't quite work for you. I mean, these people, they had DUIs and stuff, and I just want to go home and unwind after work. I'm really not that bad, except that I don't like how I feel all the time. And I don't like feeling that constant sense of, do I have enough? Do I have enough money? And one day I did a rough estimate of how much I was spending. I had heard of this book. It was recommended by a YouTuber. I think it was the classic version of it. And I started reading it a few years ago. And I got, I don't know, maybe like this far. So I woke up and I was like, I feel great. Yeah, he's right. This Alan Carr, he knows what he's talking about. I don't need a drink. And that lasted like a week. And then I had a drink. That's all I had. And then the next day I had a drink. And that's all I had. Wasn't following all of the instructions. And eventually, I was back in the same cycle. Eventually I was like, you know what? I should start reading that book again. I kind of got away from that. And this time around, I'm a bit of a spine buster. I won't do it ever to library books. So you can see about where I stopped. And that lasted probably about a month. And there was one day I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have one. And the next day, and the next day, and the day after that, I probably had two. And you know where the story went. I got to the point where I couldn't even read this book sober. And that's one of the agreements that you make when you read this book. Now I know this is really bad. I'm spending $600 roughly every single month on alcohol. I can't stay sober long enough after work to read this book. I don't know what to do. What's my next step? I've tried meetings. I've tried this book. Kind of a loser. Well, I have the women's version. Maybe there's an updated one, or I need the classic version. Yeah, I'll buy the classic version. Maybe that'll be better. I'm on Amazon and I noticed an option. Had I just not noticed it before? I don't know. But it said, hey, free with your 30-day trial of Audible. What do I have to lose at this point? And when am I sober? I'm always sober in my car. I downloaded Audible on my phone and rest is history. This is history. This book, well, at least the audio version, probably saved my life. This was going to be a slow and painful death. Maybe not in a month or a year or even 5 years. I mean, I've pretty much been on this boat since about 2012. That's another story. 12 years have gone by, and I'm telling you now, no meeting, no any other program has gotten me to the point where I came across this last bottle that still has some in here and I didn't feel sketched out. I've always felt like, oh my gosh, I got to finish that. I got to finish that before I get rid of it. It doesn't bother me. So if you or someone you know in your life has struggled, they've tried the programs, maybe not. And if you know people that are fine with their programs, don't fix what's not broken. If you're struggling, this has saved my life. I don't miss it. I've gone to a birthday party recently where the only person there that wasn't drinking was pregnant, and I was fine. I didn't need it. Didn't care for it. And what's funny is no one noticed and nobody offered. They just saw I had my little cooler of beverages. They might have assumed I was drinking alcohol. I don't know. All I had was some Diet Cokes, and I was good with it. And while I was there, another remarkable thing happened. I wasn't policing how much I was drinking to, not seem like I was overdoing it. And so, I could go home and drink even more. But you know what? I don't have to hide it anymore. And I don't even consider myself sober. This book has been updated, and I believe the tagline now is to become a happy non-drinker. I am. I'm a very content non-drinker. I could fill a book of all the things I neglected, felt guilty about, felt shameful about, the hiding games. I don't need to feel that way anymore. There's only one copy of this that I can gift out. So send me an email and I'll pick one random person by the end of the week to mail this out to. And for the digital copies on Audible, maybe you don't want to commit or risk forgetting that you signed up for Audible. I get it. Maybe you already have Audible and you're out of credits for the next 29 days. Start now. I'm going to link a few copies down below. I'm sorry, it's first come, first serve. So unfortunately, if the copy is gone, it's gone. But this way, it's completely anonymous. And occasionally, I'll continue to put links for them down in my description boxes here on out. But I would hop on those now because if you're serious and you want to stop the cycle, you can stop today. You don't have to stop drinking today, but you can sure get started on the process to quit drinking. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this bad boy. So, and honestly, that's the only reason I kept this. I knew I wanted it as a prop for this video. And I wanted to make sure this was in here so you could see how comfortable I am with alcohol in front of me. Doesn't faze me. Not interested. Not even the slightest. That's it. The most important thing I ever decluttered in my life.